We'll call a meeting today of the Board of Supervisors for 16th of March here today in order, and welcome everybody here today and everybody that's in the virtual world. All right, our first item on the agenda is our entertain a motion to go into closed meeting.
Mr. Chairman, if I may read the motion of certification. Need a motion to go into for the Northumberland County Board of Supervisors to convene a closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Freedom of Information Act, Section 2.2, 3711 A8 for consultation with legal counsel pertaining to specific legal matters for such consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the county's negotiating or litigating posture. Invited to attend the closed meeting as necessary are the county administrator, assistant county administrator, and the county attorney, because they are deemed necessary and their presence will be reasonably aid the board in its consideration of the topics to be discussed pursuant to Virginia FOIA Section 2.2 3712F.
I move what Mr. Tadlock said.
All right, we've got a motion to have second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the other courtroom and we'll be back in a few minutes. Everybody else ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can I have a motion to come out of closed meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Third, whatever.
All right, got a motion to second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, can I have a motion that we didn't discuss anything we weren't supposed to? And I think Mr. Tadlock has that.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, need a motion that the Northumberland Board of Supervisors return to public meeting and certify by roll call vote that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered during the closed meeting.
All right. Motion second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor, we'll have a roll call vote and start with Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Brand.
Aye.
Mr. Tomlin.
Aye.
Mr. Jett.
Aye.
Mr. Haney, aye. All right. Now, next item is the discussion of the redistricting. I think all the board members have the different plans in front of you now.
I'd just like to make a statement, Mr. Haney.
Yes.
I've been accused of a letter that's circulating around that had 90% of the information in it was incorrect and false, if not downright lies. No, I'm sorry, Dick. No. I'm sorry, Dick. I can't understand. You look like you were paying attention, I guess. And
Don't pay attention.
I asked one question the other night. It was in my district. It's one little tiny block that involves two houses. And the question I asked was, how was that going to make a difference? And my numbers were so close. The census block estimated 10 people in those two houses, which I don't think is correct. But anyway, that put me under, made everything legitimate for me. That's the only question I asked. That's the only thing I said for the night. Nothing concerning the minority district with majority. I don't know where all those rumors got started, but it was all incorrect information. We have it on recording, right? So Mr. Tadlock has it all on recording if anybody cares to listen to it. But somebody has spread it and sent a letter out, and I'm sure you got a copy. Yeah, well, you're the only one in the county. Going to get on the right list, Nick.
Of course, the mail is so late.
Sir?
The mail is so late.
But it was, and it was, I just want the people here to know that it was incorrect information. I met with a gentleman this morning, went over and explained it to it. And, he was under the impression that we had taken action the other night, which we did not. Because after I said, he said, y'all didn't take any action to change all this? I said, no, sir. And he said, why am I here then? Was what he asked me. But I just wanted y'all to know that 99% of that letter is incorrect information. From the part, the second paragraph referring to 3 Republicans on the board, 1 independent, 1 Democrat. Started off wrong and it never got any better. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jett. Anyone else want to make any comments?
Well, where are we now, Lutcher? Do we open the public hearing, is that closed? The board has already held the public hearing on it. That was last Thursday. The board did close the public hearing on that matter. So the matter's before the board at this point. So we're just looking for a motion.
We had the motion last week.
Questions or review of further information or the matters before the board at this point.
We had a motion last week and we didn't approve anything, and now we're here for discussion on the other plans or a review of the other plans. So it's up to the board.
Well, it's been stated, even by the attorney, that the plan, each of us had an opportunity to appoint 1 person to serve on the redistricting committee. And everybody had that opportunity. And all the board members came back approving the plan that was presented to us. And I made a motion that we approve that plan. And it was 4-1. But several will say you were satisfied with the person you put on the district, for redistricting, but you voted against it. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't make sense to, I'm sure if other people know, understand, it wouldn't make sense to them.
Well, Mr. Long, one thing that I wanted to look at, I had never seen the rest of the other plans. That was my thing. And my district has the same change in every plan, so it doesn't make any difference to me. And my representative that I appointed on there, that person did an excellent job. And I am very pleased with that person. And like I said in the past meeting, I would have to adjust to losing Callio, because it's been in my district as long as I've had it and before I had it. That's the only thing. I'm going to have to adjust to losing.
But you had the committee, you had the attorney, so the best plan is Plan 3. The plan that was presented to us.
Yeah.
But you voted against it. For
Yeah.
some reason, I don't know.
All I wanted to do was look at the rest of the plans.
Okay, can I speak?
Yes.
I voted against it because I wasn't ready to approve until I got the information to the question that I had at that time, and that my question has been answered since.
Okay. That makes sense. I don't know about y'all. I mean, the purpose is to find out what you were thinking when the lawyer says a good plan and the committee says a good plan. Ronnie explained the reason why he voted. He said he got his answer now.
I don't think we need to alter from any plan that the committee brought back to us. And it's been recommended to us by the county attorney that we choose Plan 3. And I think, Mr. Jett, you had your question answered. And all, and you know, I know Mr. Haney, you like you said, that you got to adjust to losing part of your district.
Got to adjust.
You know, I'm ready to make a motion that we just move forward with Plan 3 at the recommendation of the county attorney.
Second. You want to comment before we make a
Oh,
motion?
yeah, I'll comment. I made comments last time.
I'm very satisfied with my representative, and when I appointed her to it, I said, do what she felt was right. But we're in a different situation than the General Assembly did when that constitutional amendment was done. The constitutional amendment that was passed that set up a redistricting commission, which took it out of the General Assembly and passed it to the commission. Of course, the commission couldn't decide, so it went to the Virginia Supreme Court. This is a committee who did their due diligence, and I don't question anybody's efforts or thoughts or whatever, but they are making recommendations to us. We did not delegate our authority to this committee. We never have. In the past, unless there's the legislature changes the law or the Constitution that says local governments shall have a redistricting commission, which their authority decide. If they can't decide, then it goes to the circuit court. So their decision is like the planning commission. What the planning commission does is recommends to this board. So again, I don't question anything that they did, and I don't question anybody's motives in the least. But my concern has to do with the traditional redistricting criteria. The area of the Mila, Boogie Neck area, et cetera, Remo Road, that has been a core part of the Wacomico / District 4 ever since I have been voting. It went all the way back to Driscoll Pittman, who lives on the other side of where Jim lives. Then it was Edwin Anderson Sisson, who's further down Mila. Then Henry Hull, who lives before you get to Sandy Point Road. Then myself off of Sandy Point Road. Pam Russell further down Mila. This has always been a core. That's one of the traditional criteria. The other one is compactness. The eyeball test on District 3, I think, but this goes back to 1991. My biased opinion, I'll make that out, it's not compact. Going all the way from Kilmarnock around the Great Wacomico down to Fairport, but that's what was done then under that theory of the majority minorities. But the other thing is it needs to be contiguous. And the Virginia Supreme Court in Wilkins versus West said basically, and I took this straight from fair redistricting in Virginia 2011 from ACLU. They didn't do one in 2020 because you had the redistricting commission. And they cite, in a footnote, they cite the West case. Nope, wrong tab. Each district must be in a single piece. And the other thing is, if you look at the part of the Mallard Bay, Sampson's Wharf, that is connected only if you get out in the boat and go around, turn to your left. So it's not connected. The test of contiguity is whether or not you can actually drive or walk to every piece of the district without going through another district. In Virginia, most states, a district split by water still is considered contiguous. But they also say a bridge, because we got plenty of bridges. You cut off, didn't have a bridge. So the Glee Point side is connected by a bridge. But I cannot get, or whoever sits at this side at District 4, cannot get to the Mallard Bay, Sampson's Wharf area without riding through District 3. If District 3 is approved, then the representative cannot get to the Boogie Neck side, the Snowden Park side, or the Glee Point side without going through a district. That would be 3 times it would have to happen. And so all those things kind of, and like I said, when I go out to go anywhere, I'm gonna be riding up the part of the area which will not be in my traditional district. I'm used to losing land. That's the way it's been since 2000. So I used to go all the way down to Fairport Road and then jumped over a little bit. That didn't lose much the next time, but 1 or 2 houses. But then the next time went all the way up to Brickyard Lane. Losing land is not my issue. And I don't think there is any case that I could find that said specifically a majority minority district is 50% plus 1. It needs to be where the minority, whatever the minority is, has an ability to influence. And there is The Atlantic had an article last September. Is it time to rethink hyper minority districts? And Bobby Scott, who most people know, Congressman Bobby Scott, 3rd District Congressional, has not been in favor of majority minority districts. And one of his quotes is, 10 years ago, Mark Ellis ID'd me as the only congressional Black caucus member advocating for a lower Black percentage in my district. He says with a chuckle, I've been on the barrel end of abuse of taking a position that end up being proven right. To suggest, this is also a further quote by him, to suggest that there is some numerical barrier that you have to achieve is absurd. If the votes are changing, the standard ought to change. And if you look at the history of District C since it's been formed, there's only been one organized candidate against Mr. Long. That was George Beckett in 2005, and Mr. Long won by 67%. So the ability to elect is still there anyway you play, because you look, you have, even on any plan, there's going to be 49 point, the percentage of Black, not counting minority, which is going, if you include Hispanics and others, will be higher, over the 50%. But if you look at the number of whites who are Democratic voters, that clearly makes the ability to elect there. So all those factors lead me to have concerns about the plan on Plan 3. Again, do not question what my representative, I told her to do what she thought was right. I had no question about that. I mean, the plans, as Richard or Jimmy has said, clearly on District 1 and 2 was going to make it. There's no way you can do that. And that's my concern is, and I've talked to 1 or 2 people when the proposed addition area, and one person told me in no uncertain terms, they're no longer going to vote. And I believe in people voting, and I don't want to do anything to discourage that. When the precinct was changed from Mount Olive Church, when Joe Schlatter was the chairman of the electoral board, and to move it over to Fairfield, I specifically asked, is this in any way, in your opinion, going to diminish the right of people to vote? He said no. I believe in it. As Mr. Long may remember, I've helped get convicted felons the right to vote back. I believe in it. Then it's up to me to convince those persons to vote for me, or whatever. So I just looking at all the case law that I've seen, and also the Virginia Supreme Court, as I said, had to redistrict because the General Assembly of members, which was 8 and 8 Republican Democrats, they thought they were going to compromise anything. Because you had to have 12 of whoever agreed to it. You know how well that works. There were suggestions that there needs to move away from less majority minority districts and more influence. And if you look at the actual decision by the Virginia Supreme Court, they went from 11 or 12 majority districts down to 7. So the Supreme Court, our court, reduced the number of majority minority districts downward. And as the attorney has said, and anybody can tell you, if you know how to do what the redistricting law says, you need to bet on the lottery, because it goes every which way from Sunday. And we obviously know the landscape on redistricting. The Voting Rights Act, Shelby versus Alabama, took away the pre-clearance requirement with DOJ, but it's still, the legislature does require the Virginia Attorney General to review this. And after the election, you got to change an attorney generalship too. So who knows what's going on? But I have to look at case law, look at Virginia Supreme Court cases, and trying to figure out the various cases and the 3 prongs of jingles and all like that. Anyway, it's not fun to try to figure it out. And the committee did an excellent job, but again, it's our decision.
The motion on the floor.
So we have, Mr. Thomas.
That's enough.
All right. Mr. Long, you made a motion?
Jimmy made the
I mean,
motion.
I'm sorry, Jimmy made the motion, sorry. And You second it. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on this?
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
if the board chooses to move forward with this, if I could get in that motion to approve the Plan 3, but also the ordinance language that was drafted along with the enactment clause. So that what that does is once it goes to the Attorney General and is approved by the Attorney General, becomes effective at that point, not upon adoption by the board.
Modify your motion.
Yes.
All right,
Add that language.
you can add that language to it, Mr. Tadlock. Derek, you, Mr. Long?
Yes.
All right. Anything else? Mr. Tadlock?
No, that's all I have.
All right. If there's no other discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those against?
Nay.
Nay. All right, motion passes 4-1. Good. All right, let's see. Next item on the list, if we have no other items for our meeting today, and we do not need to stay open, I'll entertain a motion to close.
Sustain.
Yes,
One thing I'd like to have the county attorney look into, we had someone speak at the last board meeting in reference to the school board budget, and apparently it may be presented correctly or not presented correctly, but I'd like for the county attorney to look into it to see if it's being presented to the county by code.
you putting,
I'll put that in a motion.
you want it in a motion, okay. All right, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this? If not,
Read the motion, I was gonna read that.
would you restate your motion, Mr. Brown?
Basically, what I would like to happen, Mr. Jett, is we had someone speak at the last meeting in regards to the school board budget not being presented to the board properly, and it's not, not to code. And I guess my point and the reason I'm asking this to be done is if it's not being done correctly, let's get it done correctly. And if it is done correctly, let's have it stated that it is. And that's the reason I've asked for this motion and for the attorney to look into it.
All right,
You need a second.
okay,
Yeah, I just
is
second.
that okay now?
Yeah.
All right. All right, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, anyone else have anything else that they want to bring up right now? No board member? Mr. Tadlock?
No, sir, I don't have anything else.
All right, do we need to stay open or can we adjourn?
I move we adjourn. Second.
All right, we have a motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, thank everyone for coming tonight that's here in the courtroom, and thank everybody in the virtual world for coming.